with National Coming Out Day coming up, I thought it would be a good idea to make a little video vlog about my coming out story. I think it's really good for gay people, or just anybody in the LGBT community who is out of the closet, to share their stories with other people, you know, because it helps other people who are in the closet. It gives them some hope, a little bit of inspiration maybe. So, you know, if I can help anybody out there, that would be my ultimate goal. I'm a lesbian. I didn't know that until 2006 when I first started college. It was my freshman year. It was like before my freshman year in college, actually, when I was at my orientation, and there was this girl there, and I thought she was really hot, and it was really weird because I never really thought I'd been attracted to a girl before in that way. It was really confusing, and I guess that was when I first realized that. After a while I started realizing, wow, I think a lot of girls are hot. And then it really clicked. So it was a few months later I started calling myself bisexual. But, you know, that was pretty difficult for me because I'd been raised in a really, like, hardcore Christian home, and, you know, my family was, like, really religious at the time, and, you know, I went to a church that was telling me, you know, if you're gay, you're going to hell. And, yeah. So I feel like maybe the reason I hadn't known it before was because I was scared to admit it, because, you know, I didn't want to go to hell, obviously. It was a really hard time for me. It was like really difficult. I was so confused and so lost, and like I had no one to talk to because how could I tell people, you know? It was like I couldn't, you know, I always felt like I could go to my mom with anything, but this was different because she was a Christian. It wasn't that I was afraid to tell my friends because I thought they wouldn't be friends with me anymore. That wasn't it at all, because I have very accepting friends. It was just the fact that how could I admit this to them when I couldn't even admit it to myself yet? My mom had been watching South of Nowhere with me. She saw my book, Keeping You a Secret, one day. I totally recommend Keeping You a Secret, by the way. It was just the best book ever. I've read it so many times since then. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so finally one day, me and my mom were in the car, and Melissa Etheridge came on the radio, and my mom said something along the lines of, I love Melissa Etheridge's music, and I'd love to go to one of her concerts one day, but there'd be a lot of lesbians there. I was like, yeah. She's like, wouldn't that make you uncomfortable? She's like, and I was like, no. She's like, but they'd all be like making out. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, that wouldn't weird you out? And I just kept saying no. And then so finally she asked me, you don't like any girls, do you? And I knew it was like a now or never moment. If I didn't say it then, I was never gonna say it. So I was just like, actually, I do. She took it better than I thought she would. There was no yelling, no screaming, no crying, but she still didn't take it as well as I had hoped in the back of my mind that she would. It was more along the lines of, the devil is using that girl to tempt you, and it's just a phase, and everyone goes through it, and you'll grow out of it, and blah, 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 you know, the usual. I ended up going to this, like, gospel concert, because I was in this gospel choir at my college, and so I went to this concert, and it was, like, getting really intense with, like, the preacher and everything, talking about, like, how our sins are on us, and we can just take them off of us like jackets. So, you know, everyone starts, like, taking their jackets off as if they're, like, really taking the sin off and whatever, and he's going, like, homosexuality is on you, lesbianism is on you, you can take it off, and I'm like, oh my god. So, yeah, actually, I was going to stop being gay. Because of that, I, like, vowed that I would, and, yeah. It worked for about 3 days. I ended up telling my best friend. It took me forever to get the words out, and I couldn't even say I'm bisexual. I just kind of, like, after, like, an hour of her probing me saying, what is it, I finally just ended up saying, I think I have a crush on a girl. She was telling me that she loved me no matter what. I could kill a person and she'd still love me. Why not? You're the best friend in the world. I love you. She just made me feel so much better about it. She was saying that God still loves me, and I think I always knew in the back of my mind that God still loved me. It was just I needed to hear someone else say it. A few months later, I also ended up telling someone at school, Erin, because, well, Juanette lives out of state, so, you know, as good as it was to have her to talk to about it, I only really got to talk to her about it on the phone. But I felt like I needed someone at school who I saw on a day-to-day basis as the sort of support system, so that was where Erin came in, and she also took it really well, and again, it took me forever to say it. I took her into the bathroom, I think, in our dorm, and ended up telling her, but it took me forever, but when I finally got it out, I felt like so relieved, because she was the first person at school to know about it after like a year of keeping it all to myself. And then there was that fateful night at the pool table party. Dun dun dun. We call it the pool table party. But, yeah, it was a pretty special night, and it was basically my coming out night as well. So I'd been friends with this girl named Shavela for a year and a half, and what she did not know for that year and a half was that I'd had a crush on her all along, but yeah, she was my friend. So, you know, the two of us and our friends, we went to this party on September 6th, 2008, and we ended up getting really, really drunk, and we were sharing some Malibu coconut rum, and we were sitting on a pool table, and we were just talking, and neither of us really know how it happened, because we were just so drunk, but somehow we ended up just making out on the pool table for like 2 hours in front of everybody. So, yeah, I guess it wasn't a secret after that. Shavela is now my girlfriend. She's been my girlfriend for over a year, and we're like incredibly happy. After that, I think my mom sort of got more used to the fact, and she doesn't tell me it's just a phase anymore. She doesn't try to use the Bible against me anymore. She's actually been like really into gay rights. I had to tell my sister. She cried when I told her. That was really upsetting because my sister has always been really close to me. So it hurt me when she cried. But now she's like perfectly fine with it. She actually came up to me the night of my first date with Shavela. It was like, I was in my room getting ready. Emily came in my room and she goes, you know, I was thinking, and I don't think you're bisexual. I think you're a lesbian. Months later, I did come out as lesbian. But, yeah. So she's been great about it. You know, if any of her friends say anything bad about me or about gay people, she's like all up on them, like defending me and everything. So she's awesome. It's my poppy who I'm still worried about. He just found out in April, I think, and for a long time he was not talking to me. And that was really hurtful. He's always been like a father to me. I lived with my grandparents until I was 11 years old. So that was about the worst thing that could have happened. And we're still not really okay yet, but I do think he's going to come around eventually. I have faith that he will. If you're still in the closet and you're afraid to come out, really, I know it's scary, I know it's terrifying, I know it's depressing and confusing and just the most awful place you can possibly be in. You'll feel really relieved after it's all said and done, after the whole coming out thing is over. After I first came out, like over a year ago, I just went like out happy completely and was all like decked out in rainbows all the time. It was really, really liberating for me after being closeted for like 2 years. 2 years. Yeah, after being in the closet for 2 years, and then to finally be out, it was just like I wanted to party. I wanted everyone in the world to know. It's not that, I don't want to like wave it in everyone's face like, hey, I'm gay, but, it just felt really good to finally be myself and be okay with it, accept myself, and know that other people accepted me. It was a great feeling.